Hello everyone. So for today, what I'm going to be doing, building off of the last video that I made, is I'm going to be showing you how to schedule a meeting on Zoom. So last time that I made a video, all I did was show you how to make the account. As soon as the video was over and we logged into our account, this screen showed up. So basically all I'm going to be doing today is showing you how to use some of the different features on Zoom. So to get started, what you need to do is you need to be on this screen. This is exactly what your screen should look like. So in my last video, I talked about how you can download Zoom from the internet, but it's also possible to use Zoom on the internet itself. So when I use Zoom, I usually use my downloaded version, but it's just as easy to use it on the internet. So all you need to be on is a browser. It doesn't matter which one. If you don't have a Mac, doesn't have to be Safari, which is what I am on. It can also be Chrome or any different browser that works for you. So as I said, you're going to want to be logged in. As you can see, I'm already logged in from the last time that I created this account, but if for some reason you're logged out since last time, all you're going to want to do is sign back in, and you can do that by going to zoom.us. All you have to do is enter that in the top bar up here. Remember, your username is the email that you use to create your account, and your password is the same exact password for that email as it is for your new Zoom account. So here, what I'm going to be showing you, the first thing I'm going to do is show you how to schedule a meeting. So basically on Zoom, what a meeting is it's a video conference or a video chat with other people on the other end of the Zoom call. So here, if you're familiar with FaceTime, it's pretty much the exact same thing, except you can have multiple people. You just talk to them through the computer or through the phone, and the great thing about this is that you can mute yourself and you can also hide your face, so they just see they just hear your voice while you're on the call. And it's great because you can have far more people on Zoom than you can on a FaceTime call. So for me, the easiest way to start a meeting is to schedule the meeting. Now, please keep in mind that you do not need to schedule a meeting to join a meeting or to create a meeting, but for me, this is the easiest way to get the information across to my participants. So what I'm going to be doing is tomorrow is Thursday, and I'm going to be Zooming with my family in India to use it as an example on how to get on the call. However, for today, what I'm going to be doing is showing you the meeting that I'm going to be scheduling for tomorrow. I'm scheduling it because I think that I want to first use it as an example, and second of all, I want to use it as a reminder to my participants, which in this case would be my family in India, to just remind them. So the first thing that I want to do is this left-hand column on the side has all these different options. To keep it very simple, all I'm going to do is click on meetings on the left-hand column. I'm already here, which will bring you to these four bars. You have upcoming meetings, previous meetings, personal meeting room, and meeting templates. Now, for today, we're not going to worry about any of these three because it's not relevant to what I want to teach you right now. However, I do want to create an upcoming meeting for tomorrow. So what I'm going to do is just click schedule a new meeting, which is what I'm going to be doing for tomorrow. And here we have all these different options. All right. So to get started, I'm going to want to choose a topic for my video. Since this is a demonstration of how to use Zoom for tomorrow, I'm just going to put demonstration as the topic. You don't have to have a description. However, I'm going to put one in just so that they know what the purpose of the video is. So I'm going to put tutorial for Zoom meeting. And that's how that's going to work. Here, they're also going to ask you to schedule when you want the meeting. You're not going to click on the date for this to schedule the date. You're going to click on the calendar feature. So I've already arranged the time with them. It's going to be May 28th, 2020, which is tomorrow. And the time we've agreed on is 12 p.m. They are also going to ask you to give a rough duration of how long you think your video conference is going to be. They will in absolutely no ways hold you to this time. However, it's just to give your participants a rough estimate of how long you think the meeting is going to be. If you schedule it for 1 hour, it's also fine. If it's 50 minutes or 4 hours, it doesn't matter. It's just an estimate. So I'm going to estimate that my video conference tomorrow is going to be no more than 15 minutes long. So I'm just going to keep that there. It'll ask you for your time zone. So in my specific case, this is very important since I'll be FaceTiming with my family in India. The time is going to be different for me than it is for them. So when they go to look at the time that I have the meeting scheduled for, it's going to be very important that this here is present. And it's already set to Pacific time for me, so I'm just going to leave that there. So here it's going to ask you if this is a recurring meeting. This is not, because it's just a one-time demonstration for Zoom tomorrow. Here it's going to ask you for the meeting ID. So the meeting ID is very important because it's going to be what your participants are going to be using to get onto the Zoom meeting. So my personal meeting ID that will basically be used for all of my Zoom meetings if I want it to is here. I want this one to be unique though, so I'm going to ask it to generate it automatically, which will show up later. It's also, for some reason, I have no idea why it's requiring me to have a meeting password for my participants to access it, but for some reason it's just automatically checked off. It's not letting me change it, so I'm not going to try to change it. But it does automatically generate a meeting password here. I don't like that password. I think it's confusing, so I'm just going to use example as my example password. All right, so here we have the options for the video. So this is basically what is going to happen, what's going to show up as soon as you log on to the call and as soon as your participants log on to the call. So for tomorrow, I do want my video, which is just going to be my face, showing in the video. I'm okay with them seeing me since it's just my family in India who are going to be on the call, and I don't want them to show up right away, so I'm going to let them choose whether or not they want the video. So for the video, participants can be off, but they can always change that as soon as they get onto the call. And finally, for the meeting options, there's going to be 4 options that you have here. You are going to have, just to make your video call more specific to what you want and how you want it to happen. So here, the first one we have enabled join before host. That means that they can join the meeting before I get on the call. I don't want that feature for the call tomorrow. I want them to have to wait till I'm there, so I'm not going to click the box. For my next option, we have mute participants upon entry. That means that they will be muted as soon as they get on the call. I do want that since I want to do all the talking as soon as they get on the call. Here we have enable waiting room. Basically what a waiting room is it's somewhere for my participants to wait if they get on the call before I do. As you can see, I have enabled join before host, so I'm going to leave that. And for the last option, we have record the meeting automatically on the local computer. I have no reason to record my meeting, so I'm not going to check that. All right. And I'm going to click save as soon as I have everything that I want. All right, so now that we just did all that, it's going to take us to this page. This page is basically just a run through of what I just entered, but it's also showing some more options. So at the top, we have what I entered, the topic and the description. I don't need to worry about that since I already did that. It has the time, and it also has an option to add it to my calendar. So if you think that you are going to forget about your meeting, let's say you're scheduling it like a week in advance and you want a reminder, you can add it to your calendar. I know for a fact that I am not going to forget, and I'm confident in that, so I'm not going to add it to my calendar. However, here we have the meeting ID, which you are going to need to give to your participants. Either that or the invite link, which I'll go over in a second. This, as I was talking about before, the generate automatically, this is the code that you can send to your participants to join the meeting at the selected time that you have. Here we have the password. This is what they're going to need to enter to get into the meeting. Mine is just example. And that is going to show up in the invite link. So the invite link is going to be what is used to show the descriptions to your participants. Now, here I'm just going to click copy and this will show up. So basically how this is going to work is I can either email, text, or if I even wanted to get really specific, I could give this information over the phone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be texting this to my family in India when I go to do the example meeting for tomorrow. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to click copy meeting invitation, and as soon as I do that, it's going to copy it to my computer. Basically, all I have to do after I've done that is click command, hold down command, and then V, and it'll paste it right onto however I want to send it. So your participants, whoever you want else to be on this call, need all of this information no matter what in order to get onto the call. So you want to make sure that you copy all this information before sending it. So I'm going to click copy meeting invitation. It's copied, and now I have it saved. All right, so down here what I have is the rest is just showing the options that I have that I already went through. So video, meeting options, everything that I've already done. So this is saved. If you go to my meetings here, you'll see that my topic is shown, demonstration, which is what I put, the meeting ID is shown, and the start time is shown. To start the meeting when I go tomorrow, I'm going to also explain this. I'm going to hit start, but for now we're not going to worry about that. So for today, what I just wanted to do is show you how to schedule a meeting. What I'm also going to do just really quickly, since we have a little bit of time, is show you how to join a meeting. So as you can see, I was on my home page, and all I did was click this box up here that I'm circling around with my mouse, join a meeting. So before I click on that, I just want to point out that the meeting, if you're not the meeting host, so in a situation that you would be the meeting host would be, for example, if you just scheduled a meeting. So in the meeting that I just scheduled, I'm the meeting host. However, for example, if my sister wanted to create a meeting where she was the host, she would have already generated the meeting ID and she would have this code. It would also come through in all the information that I just copied. So if you want to join a meeting using somebody else's code, all you do is click join a meeting. All you have to do is enter the meeting ID or the link that came through in all the information that I just copied. I'm going to type in a bunch of random numbers. That's completely random. It's not going to actually lead me to any meeting. And then you're going to hit join. I don't have a meeting to join right now. I will, of course, explain this in another video, but for now, in case you're curious, that is how you join a meeting. So that's just about all the information I have for you today. It's a little bit more complicated than creating an account. It's a little bit longer, takes a little bit more time. However, it's really not difficult to do if you go through all the steps that you have. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to email me at this email, communicationtutorials@gmail.com. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. But for today, that's all the information I have for you. And I really hope that this was helpful and that it will be easier for you to understand now that I've explained it. So I just want to thank everyone for watching my video, and I really hope that this was helpful. Thanks, guys.